We are live.
Hang on. And it looks like we are now live from YouTube on YouTube. I'm super excited for today. Today is May 13, 2020. It looks like we are now live. All right, let me take off my little YouTube thing. I'm super excited. I knew I was going to listen to it. 13 to 2020. It looks like we are now live. All right, let me take off my little YouTube thing. Hold on. I know there's a way that I stop this.
Yeah, whatever other thing that you have on, you have to mute it.
Hold on.
Mute it.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking for it. I remember, but I don't remember. I remember, but I don't remember. Okay. I'm just gonna go there. Okay, I want to run a test, see if you can hear it.
I can hear you.
Perfect. I don't think you can hear it anymore. And so we go live. Sorry for that. Okay, so we're gonna go live on Facebook as well, just a little bit, just to announce it, see if we can get more people following. This is about the one thing that I do not know how to do a lot. Okay. Hi, Facebook friends. We are going to go live on our YouTube channel. So we're only going to be very small, like just a couple minutes on Facebook. So if you want to join us live on our women event, ladies, come join us. We have beauty tips. We have interview tips. We have all of the good stuff that women need to know today to prepare for an awesome bounce back, right? This is our woman bounce back event. So go to our YouTube channel, go YouTube and search for Farid Cisniega. You know how to spell it because you're my friend on Facebook, so you should know how to spell it. And just join us over there if you don't have already, if you haven't received the link for Zoom. But we are now live on Zoom and we are now live on YouTube. So make sure, I'm going to stay on Facebook for just a little bit so I can get people to start joining. But you don't get to see the guests. So I urge you, go to YouTube, Farid Cisniega, okay? It's the one with the little eagle and the F and the S in blue, all right? Somebody told me it looked like a funeral, but I know it doesn't. So, but anyways, go join us over there. In the meantime, I want to give a warm welcome to whoever is starting to join. It looks like 5 o'clock is not the best time because every time we have a 6 o'clock or a 7 o'clock, there's a lot more people joining us. But the last time we tried to do it at 5. This time we kind of continue to do it at 5 o'clock. So we may change it for our next event. But just remember, why are we here? What are we doing with our bounce back event? Well, the bounce back event was created for women, from women to women, so we can have a little group that we can all come together, share great ideas, whether it is regarding what our topic is going to be today, which is your image, the way you should carry yourself in an interview, the way you look at, I don't know, business, maybe going from an employee mind to an entrepreneurial mind, style, you know, all that fun stuff the women want to learn. But we've also had subjects like mental health. We've had a lot of really good subjects that people obviously always want to hear about. But at the end of the day, Women Empowerment Group, and we help women cope and plan to get out of this, right? Bounce back. That's what we're going to call it. So today I'm super excited because we have two awesome guests, two personal friends, and I've learned so much throughout my life. And, one of them I know for a short amount of time, and the other one I know it seems like a lifetime. And they're both amazing women, each in their own individual profession will bring us so much value today. So whether you're watching this live, you made it to the 5 o'clock live, or you're watching this as a rerun, okay? We want to see your comments. Make sure if you're on YouTube, give us your comments. If you're on Facebook, come on, guys. Hi, everybody. Just go to YouTube channel, Farid Cisniega, YouTube channel. We are live there, and I'm going to shut down Facebook pretty soon because you guys don't just want to see me, right? But anyways, so we're going to start really quick. So today, what is the importance of preparing for what's to come, right? Many people right now, many of you ladies listening, have probably lost your jobs, are probably in the middle of losing your jobs. Maybe your companies are taking a cutback because economy, it's really bad right now. Maybe you are a person that, is fed up with the industry that you were involved in and you want to jump into another career. So whichever the reason is why you're joining us today, or just because you're curious, we want to give you the tools. We want to give you the tools to prepare for a new job, for a new career, for even a promotion. Maybe you were a server and now the manager of the restaurant quit, and there's a possibility of you to getting that manager job, and you want to make sure that you are prepared. So we're going to give you those tools today, so stay tuned. Our first speaker today, which I'm super excited to introduce to you, she is a lifetime friend. I've known her ever since I've known this lady. She's been a professional. She's actually showed me on a personal level a lot of how to carry myself in public, how to speak. You guys know I speak 2 languages, so I'm always switching back and forth with my Espanol, right? But she's a tremendous asset to my business career on how to speak and how to interview properly and what to put on a resume and just so many cool things that I'm going to let her tell you. But none other, we're going to kind of pass the hosting situation to none other than Sonia Kent. She comes to us as an executive recruiter, or as she likes to call herself, a recruiting manager, and she's going to give us some tips on that. So Sonia, welcome and take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share what I've been doing and how I've been helping women like you and like many others out there, just kind of with what's coming, with COVID, or even before that, how to be prepared to really step into, a new role. So let me just kind of share with you my screen, because I did bring a little something. Let me see here. Can you see that?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, what I'm going to do today while it's loading up is I want to take the time to really just kind of briefly go over some high level stuff. I'm going to give you the information from my perspective, right? So for someone who's been doing it for the last 20 years, is it up yet?
No, so go ahead and push share your screen.
Okay. Hold on.
Let me see. I want to make sure I made you a presenter first. It might be me. Yep. Okay. There you go. Go for it. Sorry.
Perfect.
That was me.
All right. Now is it up?
No.
Not yet. Let me see. Yeah, it should be, you are a co-host, so let me see if I can do it for you on your behalf.
Perfect.
Okay, let's do this. I'll do it for you.
Perfect. Oh, wait,
Uh,
1 second.
okay, let's see. Do something else. Try it. There you go. Now I see it. Yay!
All right, there we go. Perfect.
Hey, this is the new norm. This is the new norm of doing
It is.
business. Everybody has to get used to it.
Honestly, it is. When I'm sitting in a, I work for a Fortune 100 company, and when we're sitting there, this is literally, how meetings go. So don't feel bad or don't, it's not that big of a deal. So it's the norm. So what I wanted to do, and when Fareed and I talked about this, I wanted to share from my perspective, just a little bit of some career hacks or some tapas, right? Some small bites of really delicious, things that you can bring and kind of take with you. And then I want to give some time for people to maybe interact and ask some questions as well. All right. So who am I? First and foremost, let me kind of share with you who I am. That way, my background. So obviously this is me. I currently am a recruiting manager with PricewaterhouseCoopers. It's taken me a very long time to get there, but this is an amazing company. Again, it's a professional services company. I've also been with JP Morgan, so a Fortune 25, Experian, a Fortune 100, Bank of Tokyo Mitsubishi Japan, which is actually where I met our lovely host, Fareed, Union Bank, and also Prudential. So I've got some pretty awesome companies that I've worked for in the past over the last 20 years of doing this. In addition, you can kind of see over here, I am also a wife to Anthony Garibay. I am also a mother to a 26-year-old, Robert and Savannah. I host something called Elevation Nation, and that's a podcast on Spotify and some other things where, again, I give a lot of information to people about really kind of anything and everything that, involves career pathing, leadership and development, interviewing. I have all kinds of little things on there. In addition, I've got let me go back to that. I've got a company, a consulting firm that I train other recruiters how to do what I do. And then I'm also, I do the speaker circuit. So last week I was on Hope Summit for people who have been affected, obviously with COVID and what's going on and the new normal and everything going to Zoom. I was part of a panel, and, you can see here the chief people officer for Zoom, some folks from Fortune and Inc. magazine, and also somebody from LinkedIn. We came together and we talked a little bit about acing the interview, and not only regular interviews and formal interviews, but also the pre-screen interview, and even, these virtual interviews and how to actually come across in those. And my podcast talks a little bit more about that as well. So we're doing a lot, and I'm doing a lot, and I want to be able to give back. I mean, being in this career for 20 years, I want to be able to give back. So if you guys have questions as we go along, type them in or let Fareed know, and I'll do my best to try to answer them in the most honest and transparent way. I think that's the only way to do business. And I think that's why I've gotten as far as I have in this business, is because I believe in being authentic and transparent and honest. And so I'll do my best to kind of, share everything from my perspective on the headhunting side. So we talked about a little bit about, what kind of tips I should bring for you today. I really kind of buckled it down to like these three areas, right? So getting noticed, how to prepare, so going into the interview, and then also strategizing. So, basically at the end, you can have that offer negotiation, and you have the power in that, right? And there's a lot to do with that. So, first and foremost, let's talk about getting noticed. So in reality, you're going to be up against hundreds. I get hundreds of applications, and as any recruiter does, gets hundreds of applications. So how do you get noticed? Here's one tip that I'm going to give you that will make you stand out over anybody else. Don't just apply online. Go to the LinkedIn, make sure your LinkedIn is up to date, make sure it looks, even if you don't have a whole lot, it doesn't really matter, because what we're looking at and what we're doing is actually, just kind of searches. So we're pulling up profiles. So I don't need your whole resume on there, but a nice, good looking picture, something where you're connected, and then start to connect with people in that organization. So let's say, for example, you want to interview at JP Morgan. So, or wherever, but let's use JP Morgan as an example. You're going to go ahead, you're going to apply online, but then you're going to start connecting with people, start using them and that relationship with them to connect. Here's what a lot of people don't realize. We give money to individuals when they refer an employee, and statistics have shown when somebody is referred in, they last longer than those that we just hire. So if someone is going to refer you into a company, chances are, and most of us that are headhunters and recruiting managers, we look at analytics around that. So we're always looking at stuff as to how we came, how should we spend our money in marketing and branding, and do we get more ads on LinkedIn, how do we do that? Employee referral programs are very robust. I mean, for mine, I give $15,000 to somebody who refers somebody into PricewaterhouseCoopers. So in doing that, people are going to want to refer your name in. So connect with people in the organization, connect with teams, make sure you're telling them, hey, I saw this opening and I think I'd be great. Obviously, it needs to be something you're qualified for. Let's just put that out there. But if you are qualified, connect with them. Ask them if they'd be willing to refer you in. They are going to get something out of it. So trust and believe that they absolutely will want to do that. Okay. And oftentimes as a recruiter, I don't care if that person knows them or not. I'm looking for names. I'm looking to fill the role. I'm looking to interview people because I'm going to interview them regardless. Right. And my hiring managers and my stakeholders, they're going to interview them regardless. So I don't necessarily need you to sign on the dotted line that you think they're this most fantastic candidate. I just need names. So you connect with people, and trust me, people are not using this. I'm giving you information that is going to make you get noticed. If you do that, then chances are you're going to get noticed and your application is going to fly to the top, because all of my referrals, when I go through the applications, they're all flagged. So I have to go through them first, and then I've got to go back to the employee and make sure they know that I've reached out. I mean, that's one of the ways that we do things in corporate America to make sure that, these referrals are getting noticed. So if you come in that way, that's automatically bumping your name to the top of the list. So that's one kind of little hack, right, of getting noticed. The other thing would be, obviously, I would love for you to connect with the recruiters or with the hiring managers. Try to go around the process, right? Don't be that person that sits back and waits for them to call you or go into the black hole or that abyss of applications. Be proactive and connect with those hiring managers or with people that look like leaders in that organization, right? And do that with all your dream companies. It doesn't have to be people that have openings. Do it anyway, because often, a lot of times, we'll make a role. Right now with COVID, it's a little bit crazy, but if we still had somebody that was really good, we're going to hire them, whether we have something posted or not, because we know what brings value to the organization. So don't be afraid to just reach out regardless. So is that some good information so far?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Okay. Perfect. So that's just kind of getting noticed. Next, it's about preparation. So let's say you get noticed, right? And again, I have more information. I can get it a little bit meatier, but follow me in my podcast, follow me on LinkedIn, connect with me, and I'll definitely share some more. But for time purposes, I'm just going to kind of give you a few little nuggets. Like I said, a few little tapas. So next, preparing. When you go into that organization and they decide that they want to interview you, they're probably going to either pre-screen by a recruiter or a sourcer. Then they're going to do something more formal and invite you in. And then after that, hopefully it's an offer, right? So as you prepare to meet with them, of course, you're going to read a lot of information and you're going to see a lot of information on the internet. I want you to forget all that. Okay, what I want you to remember is this: know your resume first and foremost. Never embellish. Know what you can do. And if you can't do something that's in their job requirement, it doesn't matter, because I'm looking not for technical skill, but I'm looking for soft skill. I'm looking for competencies. I'm looking for a way that someone over here could possibly transfer that skill into this role. It's not a bad thing if you don't know how to do something. Basically, let's say, for example, I didn't know how to do, like right now, I'm doing a role where I didn't know how to do reporting and pivot tables. That's okay. When they ask me that question in the interview, hey, have you ever done pivot tables? The answer was no, but you know what? When I was over here, I didn't know how to do this either, but I studied it. I did this. I was being resourceful and I found a way. So I used that to my advantage and I turned a negative into a positive, right? So make sure you prepared by knowing your resume in and out. And here's the other thing, and it's a big thing. Don't just talk about what you do day to day. Okay. As a recruiter, everybody knows what I do day to day. What I talk about is the impact on the business that I bring. So how do I affect the team? How do I, move the marker from here to here in the business and in the vision of the organization? That's what's important to them. That's how you're going to stand out in an interview, is when you can speak to business results. If you're a salesperson, talk about, what you brought, the revenue you brought. If you're not, if you're operations, you're just as important. So how did you create operational efficiencies? How did you, cut red tape? Those are the things that are going to make you stand out. In addition to preparing, do your research about the company, about their vision, about the people that you're interviewing. You're going to impress them when you know, hey, my interviewer, XYZ, oh my gosh, you went to University of Oregon, so did I, wow. And you can relate with them and build on that relationship. Remember, the goal is to stand out. So you've already gotten their attention, that you've been invited to interview, but now you want to make sure that you stand out. And that can happen whether it's face-to-face or even in this environment where it's by Zoom, right? It's a little bit harder to connect, but you still can do it. And it's not as formal, so that's kind of nice. In addition, they also have, just so you know, they also have, some companies are doing pre-recorded interviews. Those are super awkward. I'm just going to be honest. I had to do it a couple times too. They're really awkward where they, pre-record their questions and then you've got to say your answer. The good thing about that is you can think about your answer, right? So make sure you think about it and you get it right and you're clear and you're concise. So that's what I talk about, when I talk about preparation, doing your research, knowing your resume, and being authentic and honest. Here's the thing. When you are authentic and you're honest and you don't embellish your truth and you don't embellish or try to sell yourself bigger than what you are, it's like dating. What you see is what you get. Then you know that those individuals are going to love you for who you are. And they're, and then when it comes down to that offer, then, you're not going to be concerned about whether or not you can cut the mustard or whether or not you can do the job. The other way I want you to prepare is come with questions, not silly questions, right? Not, how much am I going to get paid? Things like that. I want you to come with questions and interview them as well. That is going to be huge because you want to know, people don't leave companies, they leave leaders. So I want you to make sure that you ask, and even my own self, when I'm interviewing, I ask about, what does it take to be successful in this role? What's been your challenge? What's the vision? How does the business see the team? How does the management work? I mean, ask those questions that are tough. They're going to be super, super impressed. Strategize. So going on to that next, the strategize part of it, there's a reason I want you to ask those questions. You're going to look good. You're going to get noticed. You're going to stand out. But in addition, you want all the power that you can. So when and if it comes to offer phase, you know how and you have the power, because that's really what it's all about. So one thing that I tell people, and I think people get this wrong, don't talk about salary. Never talk about salary unless they ask you. And truthfully, in the state of California, we're not allowed to ask you anymore. Okay, we're allowed to ask what your expectation is. This is the perfect answer. Okay, this is the perfect answer. My expectation is, I know that your PwC company, I'm going to say my company because that's where I work. I know that you're PwC and that you know what the market rate is. So what I expect is that you make a fair and competitive offer based on your research. It doesn't outprice you. It doesn't undercut you in any way. And it lets them know, hey, I expect you to make me the best that you have. And truthfully, you don't want to let them know that you're excited or that you're interested, because right there, you're showing your cards, right? If you say, oh, I'm this, I want this amount, then that's already telling them, oh, I want you, So here's what I do as a recruiter. I think about that and you gave me a number. So when it comes to the end, I'm going to give you that number, even though maybe I can give you 20,000 more, right? I'm going to tell you that and I'm going to take that. So you've got to think about it smart. when you're going in there, you want to, you know, it's a matter of like, who's going to say, I love you first, right? Hold your cards, hold fast, unless they directly ask, but hold fast. And then if they do ask, respond the way that I shared that with you. And then that will, in all reality, my last little page here, that's always how you're going to be closing. So one of the things that I want to do after you've asked your questions, after they've asked the questions and you feel good and you walk out of there, the closing question that will also make you stand out that nobody uses, I use it, and I've always gotten good feedback. And here's another little nugget, is I always ask them, is there anything in my background that would preclude me from moving forward? That's going to tell them right there. It always puts them on the defensive, like, oh crap, you just asked me. You're going to see where it's going to come to light, the level set of their, you know, what they're looking for. So they might say, well, you know, you're a little light on this. And then that can allow you to resell yourself, right? And you know, you're going to have to think a little quickly, but it'll allow you to resell yourself. Or it's just going to impress them because nobody asks that, right? And then after that, go, okay, great. So when do you expect to make a decision? Oh, by next week. Awesome. I'll look forward to hearing back from you then. So it allows you time and time again to consistently be closing them. And that way, when it does come to offer, you have the power because you haven't undercut yourself, because you showed that you were, you know, creative and you had good vision and you asked great questions. So, I mean, it just gets you noticed all the way around. So that's kind of my little bites of some of the stuff that I talk about on my podcast. And again, I like to give it from a perspective of me and my, you know, kind of seeing like the Wizard of Oz, like the man behind the curtain, how we think and how we try to, you know, obviously negotiate. I'm giving you secrets and tips on how we lock you in and really just how you stand out differently. I mean, when individuals come in that are prepared, that have done their research, that have connected with me, that are strategic in the way they think and deal and negotiate, I'm super impressed and they end up getting the offer. So.
Can I ask a question? Can you repeat that, the closing question?
Yeah. So the last closing question, and I do this myself, like I'm not going to tell you anything that I don't do myself. Is there anything in my background that would preclude me, or, you know, say it in your words, but basically not want to, that would make you not want to move me forward in the process.
Okay. That's a good one.
Sometimes they're going to say no, you know, but it's interesting because if you're good with people and good with reading, you'll be able to see right then and there, honestly, if you're going to get that call or not.
Yeah, that body language.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that brings me to one of the questions. So I have a couple of questions for you, Sonia.
Yep.
So that is some awesome information. There was even things that I, you know, and I consider myself being a great person to interview. You may attest to that, right? We got a story on that.
That's right.
But there is a couple of things that you said, and I've always wanted to emphasize this when people that I personally mentor come to me and say, well, what could I have said different? Or even your own kids. Now we have 20-year-olds going to get job interviews. So one of the things is you kind of gave us the answer. Never talk about money. Never talk about how much does this position pay or anything like that. What can you tell the millennials? Let's talk to them a little bit, and maybe take a few seconds to kind of tell them to stop asking that, because I get asked that a lot when I'm interviewing a young person.
Yeah, you know, I think it's because, you know, I don't know that it's necessarily the millennials. I think it's us as individuals and being from a different generation that we probably have to understand what's important to them. Because we've raised them to be a generation of instant gratification. They want to do the job for 3 months and then, oh, I can run the company. You and I both know you can't, right? So, and that it's not just about being able to understand the job, but also master and be a subject matter expert in it. So I think it's about what, you know, us needing to kind of, share with them and probably talk to them and say, hey, you know, I'll be honest with you. And I tell, you know, I have a 26-year-old and I tell him this, just because you graduated with a degree does not, you know, don't expect anything. You have no experience. you know, and there's only a few things in life and in careers that you're going to need that degree for. But what it teaches you is other things, right? College teaches you other things. It teaches you how to start and finish. It teaches you grit. It teaches you how to be resourceful. So I think that's one thing that our colleges kind of lack. So, I mean, if I was them, I wouldn't necessarily talk about that, but talk about the advantages. Because here's the other thing. There's a lot of stuff that they might have that maybe it doesn't pay what you want, right? They might have where you get to work from home 5 days a week. Well, guess what? That means no gas, no car service, you know, all these cool things. They might have, you know, I had a job where it was a bunch of millennials working, and it's very kind of Silicon Valley-ish because I work a lot in the Bay Area. So they had like Whiskey Wednesdays. They had all these fun little things. They supplied food. They had yoga. I mean, all these things around culture, because ultimately, and this is what I tell my son too, is ultimately it's about culture and it's about fit and it's about where you're comfortable. And it's about if you can go in and spend 8 to 9 hours a day with these individuals and at this company and feel good about it, you know? I mean, my company now has like nap pods and digital cafes and I mean, all kinds of cool stuff that I would have taken a little bit less money because, you know, it creates that environment of satisfaction and excitement and brand. That's the other thing. If you are going into a company and perhaps they've got a great brand and, you know, maybe it's not long-term for you, that brand can open that door for you. So look at it in other ways. It's not just about money. And truthfully, if you talk to me or someone like myself who's been doing this a long time, you talk to me about money or you put that in front of my face, I'm going to run the other direction and I'm just going to move on to the next candidate, to be honest.
That's what I wanted them to hear, because it does turn, you know, a person from a position of being, you know, hiring people, it does turn us off when we do hear that. So I wanted them to hear from you, and you know, obviously you're the expert, and that is some great information. I want to emphasize the negotiation part. When you're negotiating, it's not only your salary, it's not only that you can do the job, you know, it's yourself. How do you negotiate with the person interviewing you? You know, maybe you're a little bit over the top. Maybe you got more energy than them. Maybe, you know, so you know, Giselle, which I'm going to introduce in a minute, she mentioned it a little bit. Your body language, you know, like, should you be mimicking that body language? And it comes for everything, not only just like going for a job, right? It's like you said, even you're going out on a date. How are you negotiating that you are the best person for that, you know, receiving end of a person that you're dating? Same thing where you're going to go, I don't know, maybe you're going to go to the doctor and you want to convince them. Let's talk about plastic surgery, right? You want to convince them to make your nose longer and your plastic surgeon is telling you no. How are you going to be able to convince them? So it's all part. What you do is so amazingly good, because it helps you negotiate through life, through almost every scenario. Don't you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think any of these skills are going to be transferable to pretty much anything. It's why I use dating analogies or food analogies, because people tend to get it that way, right? Like, you know, when you're you know, applying for the role, that's that pre-interview phase. That's you swiping through like on, you know, the dating app. And then, you know, you grab somebody's attention. So now what, you know, how do you stand out? How do you get them to ask you, you know, on that date? And then, you know, and I use a lot of the analogy when I'm discussing, you know, especially when it comes to salary, right? And who's going to say I love you first? Obviously, if the first thing out of your mouth is money, it's almost equivalent to sitting down and the first thing out of someone's mouth is, I want to marry you. And you're like, whoa, psycho. Like, okay, slow your roll. That's what I equate it. And I try to share that with people like, hey, don't go too early into that conversation. And truthfully, if a recruiter goes that early into something like that, then, you know, again, we're there's a reason. We're always strategic. It's because we're trying to lock you in. So later on, I can remind you when you try to negotiate with me. Oh, but you said this, remember? And so, you know, so it's a game. It's a chess game. So you got to remember that. And that's going to be fruitful for you in any avenue of life, not just interviewing.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, we'll wait to see if there's any of you that have questions for Sonia. Please make sure you type them on the chat, whether you're watching us on YouTube or whether you're on Zoom, write them down. And even if you're watching this video later on tonight, tomorrow, next week, next year, it'll still be on YouTube forever. So make sure that you ask Sonia whatever question that you have. Follow her on her podcast, right? You have a podcast. How often do you have those?
So I try to do one a week. And then also on LinkedIn, obviously LinkedIn, because I'm a recruiter, it's on my phone. I probably use that consistently all the time. So it's obviously linkedin.com/Sonia, and you've got it spelled correctly right there. So SONJAKEHNT. So connect with me there. And then any questions that you have, you are more than welcome to ask. And I'll definitely, and I don't have a problem. I've had the same phone number. We can talk, whatever you want. Just let them know you're a friend of Farid's, and I'll make sure you get special treatment.
Awesome. Well, you heard
That's
it
what
from
we all like. We like the
mouth.
special treatment.
Awesome. Well, then that leads us to our next speaker.
Oh, no, you
And
did not
I'm
get those pictures.
so excited. I'm so excited to have her because I got to tell you, so I haven't known Giselle for many years. I've known her for a few months, but the moment I met that lady, she made an impact, right? In the way I see image and the way I see makeup, and so Giselle is our head makeup artist for our TV show Dinero y Mucho Más. But she did it as a favor to us. I think she felt sorry for us, right? we didn't have a good makeup artist or even a makeup artist. We were trying to do our makeup ourselves, and oh my God, how are we gonna look, and how are we gonna touch up for the lights and everything. And one day we just said, oh my God, we have to hire somebody because this is not going well. The producer or the camera guy was telling us, you guys are too shiny. And it was just so much. Well, little did I know that this lady will become the person that taught me how to have a great Zoom. Because now we have, all this lighting, because obviously I got lights behind this computer and they're hitting me, but I know I don't look shiny, right? Like I don't see, you did a good job. So Giselle is highly recommended. She's a well-renowned beauty expert. She is a head beauty expert for Univision, which is one of the main Spanish networks, right? Not my network. We're on Telemundo, but
I was there. I did them for 3 years.
Yeah, there you go. So she knows everything about everything in the makeup world. So Giselle, I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna let you speak. And I mean, look at her makeup. Look at how beautiful this woman is. So she's gonna give us some tips. So take it away, my dear.
Okay, well, hello everybody. My name is Giselle Lukács. Like Farida said, I am the official makeup artist for Univision San Diego. I also do international beauty pageants, which I have recently retired in that industry because it's just international and it's traveling, and I do have family. I have 4 children. I am married, thank God. And well, I do a lot of stuff. So I do right now with the quarantine, obviously it's gone down a lot. So I'm just doing basically tutorials but I'm national. So I'm everywhere, for Univision. So I still keep busy doing those, and I still give tips. My favorite thing is helping people. Like Sonia said, you go into an interview and stuff, and you're the majority of the people that go in there are nervous, they're insecure, and I like to give them that little boost before they go in to that interview, even if it's through Zoom. I believe appearance has a lot to do with how we feel, and it just helps. And a lot of people like Farida was asking me, how would you wear your makeup for a interview? Well, how I'm looking right now, I would just dress up. Obviously, I'm in a tank top right now, but I would just dress up and I'm set. Because the key thing in the makeup is what a lot of people don't understand. That they think it's, let me buy this expensive makeup here, let me buy this expensive, and it's not even that. It's not even close to that. Everything is underneath. You need to have your skin prepped. You need to have your skin healthy. You need to have all that underneath taken care of before you can even think about putting something on top. One of the ways that I always recommend, that what I tell people for that healthy looking glowing skin, is water. This is 40 ounces. I drink 3 of these a day. And it's just, it's just, you have to keep yourself hydrated, especially if you're a coffee drinker. Every time you drink a cup of coffee, you got to drink two 8 ounces of water. I mean, that's just to rehydrate, to make up for what you drank, and then to hydrate again. You know what I mean? It's little things like that that's really, really important. Farida was asking me to also speak about, is it just how to go to an interview, Mija, or how to look presentable?
Interview and here, like in this environment, like what kind of makeup are we supposed to be having when we're actually on a Zoom call? That's very important in our lives.
Less is better. Honestly, you cannot go to an interview looking like you just came off the Instagram, off of Instagram with your glam, your full glam. That's the problem a lot. And a lot has to do, a lot of the younger kids, they don't see the difference there. I can go into I don't know, a Walmart. I think you can just say like a Walmart, and I can see some of the young girls like from a mile away, and they're just like, they look like light bulbs, right? Because they got the shimmer. I've got shimmer on my face right now, but I don't think it's like too exaggerated, but I have shimmer. It just gives you that healthy like glow. I'm close to 50. I'm 49, and I want to look young. I don't want to look, obviously, I mean, 50 is like your new 30s, right? That's how I
right, baby.
But I'm saying, I want to look presentable. I want to be able to tell you, hey, I'm 50, and you not look at me like, well, you look, bring it down a little bit. I want to say, hey, I'm 50 years old, and you say, wow, you look great. You look youthful. And that's something really important when you do these things. I'm on Zoom 24/7. So a little thing about me is I give Bible study. I'm really involved in my church. So I give Bible studies. I got to give one today at 7. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays I give 2, where we give marriage classes. So I'm always on Zoom. I'm kind of married to this thing right now. And this is how you'll see me. This is even, and this is really important, even if it's the same group every week, exactly what Sonia was saying. It's you are reaching out to people, and those people that see you will say, hey, you know what, that girl, I'll just say Kimberly, she's always on point with her makeup. Whatever, they've got something good to say, because consistency, and what people want is consistency. So this is my consistency right here. This is my look every single day now that we're in quarantine. I usually used to put eyeliner on, but I don't do that anymore. I think I'm good like that.
I know you're the best at that eyeliner thing. I gotta give it to you. You're the best at not putting eyeliner, but your eye looks so awesome.
Oh, thank you. You know what it is? It's the mascara. People ask me that. I've got the lashes on, right? I do the mascara with the lashes, and I know I'm wearing glasses, just I can't see without my glasses right now. So I don't know if you can actually see me. I don't know if you can see me.
Let's see. Show us. Take off your glasses for a second.
But I can't see. Hold on. Let me have the lights. Okay. So I just have mascara, and that's all. This is all I have right here. This is all I have. So it's just, all it is mascara and lashes. That's another thing, ladies. If you're going to go to an interview, make sure you do know what lashes you're going to wear, because you're going to have the interviewer just looking at you like saying, It's really important to know your eye, to get to know your eye and know what works for you. That's huge. Stick to what works with you, for you. Do not go off with all the trends, because there's a million trends. Classy, that's it. Just stick to the classics. Maintain yourself classy. And that is a big hit anywhere you go, anywhere. I would literally walk down the street. My hair will change. I was blonde about a week ago.
Yes, you were.
And then I had pink in my hair. I just, quarantine life. But I literally walk down the street, and people ask me if I'm in the beauty industry, because that's my image. That's how I look. That's what Farida was saying, right? How we dress, how we look, but always keep your style classy. That's just your face, your hair, just maintain it classy. I don't know what other questions you were wanting to know.
Oh, yeah, we do have questions for you. Let me tell you. So some of the questions that are coming up here is, obviously you were just mentioning it, the eyelashes.
Yes.
So what, so I'm going to use me as an example, right? I have a very big eye, right? You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes I don't like the real like thick eyelashes because my eyelashes are already big.
Okay.
So, but if I put a real light eyelash, kind of like for an interview, then it gets lost in the mix because my own eyelashes are already big. So what kind of eyelash do you recommend for somebody that already has pretty eyelashes or, somewhat eyelashes, and we just kind of need that refill to make them just pop?
Okay, you can go two ways. If it, obviously you're gonna curl the lashes, do your mascara and everything, and you're just gonna fill in with individual lashes. They're called cluster lashes. They come in 3, and you're just gonna fill it in. That's gonna give you a full look on your eye. It's not gonna take away from your lashes. It's just gonna enhance whatever you have going already. That's good if you want to keep. I do that a lot for weddings actually, when it's like really low key beach wedding. That's what I do. That's my favorite go-to, are just the individual cluster lashes that you put in between your lashes. And all it does is it gives it volume. Because remember what we need at a certain age, we need length and we need volume. It's not just about the length anymore. It's not about, we need to, because our eyes are the window, what like they say, the window of our soul. So we need to really enhance our eyes. This is my personal opinion. Okay. I know a lot of other professionals have different opinions. You need to really enhance what's going on here, because this is where I'm talking to. This is what I'm looking at. And this is what I want to look at. And this is what I want to look pretty, because I know that's what people are looking at. So if you have that, if you're blessed and you have beautiful lashes, not some of us don't have any, then yes, curl the lashes, do the mascara, make sure it's waterproof, and then fill it in with individual lashes. You can't go wrong with that. If you want strip lashes, these are my go-to favorites. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them there. These are the ones I wear on a daily basis. This is like every day. And if you look at them, I don't know if you can see them.
There we go.
Okay. These are, I've put these on you. These are the ones I was put on you. If you see them, they're spaced out, but at the same time in the root, they're kind of dark, right? And then they're long. They've got their length. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. See it?
Yes.
And they look thick. They look everything, and they look really pretty. This is what I have on right now. They look really pretty with just a little bit of a shadow or whatever. You don't really need to put much, and they look really classy.
Do you have a number for that or a reference?
It's called I Envy. I Envy, like I as an igloo, Envy, and by Kiss. The brand name is Kiss, and they're number 112. Those are the ones I recommend. These are the ones I work with, and these are the ones I recommend to everybody, because these I can cut and I can mold your eye. They're easy.
Oh, and I have to say, they've been the best out of every single eyelash I've ever worn in the world. Those have been the best. I endorse them 100%, because even my pictures. So not only did I feel good when I had them on,
they open up your eye.
Yes, it totally opened up my eye. You put no eyeliner on, so I didn't have to worry about the eyeliner. Mm-hmm. And then the pictures look phenomenal. They look, I even have somewhere in my social media, I even did like a really just close-up of my eyes. But that's why, because I love your eyelashes so much.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're like, for 3, they're like $8. And they last, literally, you can wear like 20 times. It's just, people get them and throw them away. You shouldn't do that. You should just reuse them. Just clean them, take off the bacteria and all the gunk on it. But you can reuse all of them actually, all the lashes.
A little stuff makes one woman happy. See?
Well, you know what? Just that. If you think about it, look, this is what I'm wearing. I'm wearing this. I have a little bit of foundation. I've got bronzer going on. I got the lipstick going on and the blush, and that's it. And then I just put my brows a little bit, but you don't really need much. Now, if we're going out, if I'm doing an editorial, if I'm doing TV, if I'm doing something like that, it's a whole different story, right? Because, I packed on the makeup so when you've done your recordings, but it's just completely. But if we're doing an interview, I don't know, Sonia, do you agree? Less is more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
and usually you don't want to be, toying around with stuff if you're uncomfortable. I mean, just Yeah, definitely less is more. Be
Yeah.
authentic.
Keep to, yeah, exactly. Keep to what works with you. And if anything, that's why I'm actually honored for that. I mean, I've had people tell me that that's what they like, that I don't change the face. I keep them, because makeup is just a tool, just to enhance what we already have. We're not changing faces here. And that's what I'm saying. You're not going to show up to an interview looking like if you just took pictures for Instagram, is what I'm saying.
Right. Well, I do have to say, you got to give our audience your contact information. I know they would love to hear more from you. They would love to utilize you. If you guys have any events, if you guys just want to do a photo shoot for fun, once all this is done, we're all suffering from some type of stress or anything like that. I'd love to get my makeup done by Giselle.
Thank you. Well, I'm giving right now free makeup classes online, because I know there's a lot of women out there who are suffering, from, they're just not in very healthy situations. And like I told you, I have a women's ministry. So I do offer free makeup classes once a month, that's through Zoom. And you'd be amazed how much fun we have. I mean, you get women together and makeup and it's down. We're down. What time it took us 4 hours, just to do one look. So it was fun. But anyways, it's just S time, right? And then every Thursday and every Saturday, I do give tutorials on my page. So, and they're free. I give, I know I should only do little bits here and there, but I do a whole 1 hour. I explain everything because I'm one of those people. And I just, yeah. So if people want to go look, go for it.
So people ask me all the time, right? Like, or tell me all the time, give me comments, whether it's a female or male, even the agents that I'm privileged to work with, they always tell me, Fareed, your makeup always looks good and yada, yada, yada. And then obviously people that don't know me in person, that don't know this is really what I look like every day, they go, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I go, no, I just have a team that makes me look amazing. So you needed to be on this today because we were going to talk about how to prepare, when we do bounce back out of this COVID craziness and we start going to ask for interviews or whatever, but they know that we can use you for even just a photo shoot, or, that's a good thing. You do need to have a good business presentation photo, right? Like something very professional. So that's what it is, talk about, see this blouse that I'm wearing right now. This will be a good photo shoot for a professional photo shoot. What Sonia's wearing right now, it's wonderful for a photo shoot, and with the beautiful makeup that Giselle just recommended. So thank you so much, you guys. I'm so excited to have had you here. This is going to stay on the books. It's most likely going to be one of our most watched YouTube videos. I'm excited for that. So whether it is that you're looking for a job, whether you're sick and tired of being an employee and want to become an entrepreneur, always be aware of your image. Always be aware of what you look like. You want to make sure that you don't look like a clown, right? A lot of us tend to put a lot of makeup on to try to cover blemishes and stuff. But it's not necessary. I believe beauty is, like Giselle said it, less is better, but you got to know what less is. Less doesn't mean nothing, okay? For all of you listening, yeah. It just means you gotta hydrate your face, just like how Giselle, you and I have talked about this, right? On like whenever I'm on your chair and you tell me, hey, your skin is this or your skin is that, that's because I do hydrate it, and I had the privilege of doing a little contract job with Sonia one time from a makeup company that we're not going to endorse, right? And we used to get a lot of cool stuff. Remember, Sonia? So I got an opportunity to test out a bunch of like hydrating stuff. And at the end of the day, it's not how much you pay for them, it's how you apply them. If you're consistent, right?
Consistency. So, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I cannot stress how important it is for that good, healthy skin. Now, just because you apply it on your face doesn't mean it's going to happen. It starts from the inside. It's what you feed your what you feed your body. And I always tell like ladies, they're like, where can I start? Dude, blueberries, anything that's a berry, anything that's antioxidant, just start with that. Drink your collagen, vitamins, Start with that if your meal is not good. if your food isn't that good, because we all cheat, we all do the saturated fats, and we all, mess up. But if you can provide your body with the nutrients and the vitamins that it needs, plus hydrate it the way it's supposed to be, on top of that, do everything that you need to do on top, you're set. Little bit goes a long way.
And if you don't know how to do it, join her YouTube, join her live and her free tutorials. I know, hey, she's not cheap. So if she's giving a free class, you better take advantage.
It's free. It's completely free.
Absolutely. That's why we love you, because I know who you are. I know who you are as a person. And I know that you are a Christian woman who's dedicated her life to serve the Lord. And we appreciate people like you, because I know you're always willing to give back. And Sonia is the same way, she's cut from the same sword. So,
Amen.
I have every single one of you guys in my life. But with that said, and I'm not sure if there's any more questions coming in, and we should be finished here shortly on our live. But before we end this tonight, I just want to leave everybody with the message, right? What is our message? Our message is, yes, the world has brought us to a situation that was completely unexpected. You all probably agree with me on that. This is not something that we've ever lived. We lived segments of it in one way or another, whether you went through a personal situation or you have gone through, economical situations or health, problems. Now it's all kind of hit us, right? Yeah. And then to top it all off, we have government deciding on our behalf of how our life is going to be looking, in the next few months. But at the end of the day is what you make of it. So you focus on negativity, more negativity come your way. Yep. You focus on preparing, you focus on, that bounce back, that coming out. And like I said, whether it is that you're going to go find a job, a job, right? And you should, because everybody needs to get back into saving and investing and, insurance and all that. So the only way to get it done is like, Giselle had mentioned at the beginning, shoot, everybody wants to go get a job now. Well, whether it is that you want to get a job or you want to start your own line of, designing masks, that's a good business right now. You want to become a little entrepreneur. There's 3 professional women today giving you tips on how to handle this, whether it is body, whether it is clothing, whether it is makeup, hair, or speaking abilities, negotiating abilities. Take note. We do this from the bottom of our hearts. You all know women empowering women is the strongest force to be reckoned with. You guys probably agree. So if you have a closing statement, ladies, please, let our audience know.
Be authentic, always.
Transparent, absolutely. Complete, because you think, this is my experience. You think they don't know, but they know. People know fakeness from a mile away. They can smell it. I can. And everybody else can. But transparency, you can't. I don't think you can fake that, really.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And my only closing statement is be a doer. Don't say you're going to do things and don't do them. Okay. One thing, if you have an interview scheduled, you better show up.
Yeah. I was going to say, the key to success, show up. Don't say you're going to try, just do it. Yeah. That's what I tell my kids that.
That's right. Show up, guys. The minimum is there's going to be out of 100 people applying for a job or a position or whatever, out of 100, probably 70 are not going to show up. So your odds are with you, right? On that. Right. So thank you, ladies, so much. I love you both. Our next women event is on May 27th. Please send us feedback on what you want covered. This was asked by the audience. They wanted to know how to look for and how to prepare for our comeback. And I believe we're getting there, right? Little by little, jobs and businesses are starting to open up. So we had to get prepared. Now you guys are prepared. You have no excuse to look good or to speak good or to negotiate or to have a great resume. So Next event, May 27th. So stay tuned for the flyers and all that on our social media. Love you all. God bless you. And we're finishing up on time. So
right.
have
Bye,
a
everybody.
blessed evening. We'll see you all on May 27th.